Thanks to able to have this opportunity to share some of my research about blockchain in construction. I've well planned for this, but unfortunately, I have to travel with the senior management of the university to elsewhere. And by that time, I was almost in the airplane or in the airport. So I advised by Able, I am recording this and this for you. So the topic of my talk today um, is to build up my research on blockchain-based quantity inspection um, for offsite construction. But now we have a new and some classic and new challenges on how to use blockchain and other technologies for quantity inspection for the on-site construction. So from the very beginning, I must appreciate that my research of using blockchain technology in the construction industry is very much influenced by this report. The report was published in 2018. At that time, most of them, the suggestions are more like a dream or some conceptual ideas. So built on that, we start to further explore how to use blockchain in the construction industry. So, for example, we published a paper to try to position like a BIM and blockchain at the center of data storage for across the whole life cycle of building development from the inception stage to design to construction and even from to the facilities management stage. We also explored the different layers of a blockchain system for these implications. In 2020, we applied to a large-scale research grant. That is the Hong Kong Innovation and Technology Commission's ITF fund. So in this project, we use BIM. Okay, BIM because BIM has been implemented in offsite construction already. And then in this case, we use blockchain as another layer for storing the building data. And we use some IoT technologies to connect the BIM layer, blockchain layer, and link to the physical world. So at that time, we secured this big research grant worth of Hong Kong dollar, like 10 million in cash. So the background of this project is Hong Kong. We have adopted prefabrication, and recently we have promoted a high level of off-site construction. We call the modular integrated construction very much, particularly in the public housing projects. But in Hong Kong, we have adopted a very interesting business model already. So basically, this public housing is designed in Hong Kong, but we manufactured those components or even modules in the Pearl River Delta in the next door because they have a wider space there. Still, they have a cheaper labor and a cheaper materials there. So we store them, we manufactured them in the Pearl River Delta, and then transport back to Hong Kong's construction sites across the border for on-site assembly. This, of course, create a perfect challenge and example for DFMA, design for manufacturing and also assembly. But this is also create a classic challenge for the cross-border logistic and supply chain management. So quantity, okay, material, provinces are typical challenges. So traditionally, we send a group of inspectors to construction site or in the factories, prefabrication yards in Pearl River Delta. But now with the higher level of integration of modules, so you have more and more construction activities conducted in a factory in remote place. So how to ensure the quantity uh, and also the material quantity and some craftsman quantity. It is really a big challenge. So at that time, we introduced the blockchain system to try to capture the true data, transparent data, and verifiable data, and the data will be kept in a system forever. So for future checking and some other even sometimes as a forensic investigation. So you can see we focus on the three typical scenarios of this off-site construction, including the production in the factory and also the cross-border logistic. And then the third scenario is installation on site. So you can see we always add BIM as the foundational layer and also the blockchain on the foundation layer. So in today's talk, I will mainly focus on the production part, okay, how to ensure quantity of the production of modules, mainly in a remote off-site or in an offshore factory. So that time, Hong Kong U is kind enough to fund us a pilot case. So we developed something called MIC Trail, and the first one is called e-Install. It's mainly using blockchain technology for the e-quantity inspection. So we developed a layman system. Because of time constraint, I just skip it quickly. So we decompose the manufacturing process of a module into like 40, 30 to 40 steps. Some of them are statutory requirement by the government administration department, like a buildings department in Hong Kong. And some of them are required by the client. Okay? They want to see some of the control points, the trades and materials have passed the quantity inspection, so they can move to the next one. Because in construction we have a lot of connected trade, and some of the trade will be covered by others. So before you identify the defeats and also the sub-quantity trade before it is too late, you need to identify them and correct them. So we program the inspection process, but something special here is we put all the inspection record, mainly including the images, sometimes videos, and then the comments, request for information from stakeholders. Here, in this case, for example, we have a qualified authorized person or inspectors. So everything failed, passed will be recorded in a blockchain system rather than we also adopt a centralized database system. But the for some of you, if you know, so blockchain is different from centralized. It's basically kind of append everything into existing chains. So a blockchain can honestly record all the inspection record, be it passed, failed, commented, and some other things. So this ensure a very transparent process um, between the contractor, the inspector, and then the clients. So that's the benefit of blockchain. And of course, uh, when a photo enters, an image enters, the blockchain system, it will be kept, it will be difficult to erase them. So this is the interface we developed. We called e-inspection 1.0 for this project. So in this project, very interesting. So inspectors and workers, they hold our system and use that on a daily basis. They captured more than 71,000 photos to record almost every step of the modules, around 900, around 1,000 modules. So the interesting things, so the images, 79,000 images, they honestly, they have a timestamp. Okay, when they upload the photo, they have a timestamp. They have operators who operate this uploading and also do the inspection, and also the inspectors. They will comment and they'll click the button to pass or fail. The inspection. So all the things will be honestly recorded in a blockchain system. By having all the data, we are actually able to create a Gantt chart like the one as you can see in the right-hand side. That is actually a big data to record almost every step of the all the 1,600 modules in different projects. So you can inspect you can, by examining the Gantt chart, you can understand the progress of each individual model and also, of course, accumulate to the overall progress of the project. And you can even examine into the crews, the productivity, and many other things, quantity things. So we have done quite a lot of publicity. We move it further, and again, Hong Kong U this time, my university found another MIC project for us to do the inspection. So I don't have time um, to repeat all the process. We do have a lot of new um, uh, 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 innovations for this blockchain-based system. For example, we this time we use 5G, so much faster to upload all the images and the data into a really redundant blockchain system. See, we also adopt some we also adopt some on a cloud blockchain system and mainly hosted in mainland China. So it doesn't have to go through the firewall and some other uh, um, hurdles that can slow down the inspection process. And this time, these inspectors are really crazy. This is only at the halfway. My team told me that in the mass production stage, there are 6 inspectors. Every day, they will take around 600 photos each and then upload to the system for inspectors to do the inspection. So in this project, they have actually accumulated more than 500,000 photos. to inspect the whole process. We put them in a blockchain, and then now you are able to create the same like a Gantt chart. This is actually contains a lot of useful information we are yet to fully exploit. So we go further to introduce this MIC Trail to Hong Kong public housing project. So unlike Hong Kong U's student dormitory project, public rental housing, they have their own design and also different size of modules. So they found this project to us, and we have done a lot of useful exploration already. So we again customize our e-Instar because the inspection process and the requirements are different from Hong Kong U project. So we customize the inspection process, even the database and the blockchain system in 2 weeks' time. And we have used this e-Instar in this project on a daily basis. So they have 100% inspection using our system. That means 100% of the inspection data will be kept in the blockchain system. So you can see we also redesigned the interface and the color scheme for them. For the Hong Kong Housing Authority, which is the client of public rental housing projects in Hong Kong. So through the dashboard system, leaders, basically project managers or seniors, are able to inspect into the overall progress, of course, but even the detailed trait of every individual module, right? So this photos and the videos are all well kept in and well organized in a blockchain system. Something interesting is based on you can now we have a very good Gantt chart. Okay, very good Gantt chart with all of the detailed information, timestamp, and also the progress of the trade, the pass or fail, and all recorded in a well-structured way. So we have started to explore how to use the information for smart payment. That's a lateral thinking. I'm very pleased that Hong Kong's industry leaders um, are very supportive for us to explore this. So, yeah, this shows some of the development we have done already. So with the immutable and such structured data, some people say that the data with a very good integrity, and stakeholders, including the clients and also the contractors and the subcontractors, are confident to use the smart payment. But we need to do some conversion at this stage. So, for example, traditionally, a payment is based on a bill of quantity, but now since a bill of quantity recorded the individual materials like a steel rebar, like a concrete, like a finishings, all this now will be decomposed into different modules. So we need to do this conversion. So and according to this, we call the stage payment. Stage payment. So we have done this quite as well in the progress. And so we actually, in these few years, we have done quite well. And another government department called the Architectural Services Department, they are responsible for developing something called light public housing projects in Hong Kong to try to improve people's, particularly for the lower income level people, and to improve their living condition. So they also adopt this modular integrated construction for light public housing. So this is the interface we developed for them. This is the E star system, again with the blockchain. So we have done quite well for this government department, and this system has been applied to 8,000 modules for their inspection on a daily basis. Yeah, the team has really done a lot to, again, in this light public housing, they have a different inspection. They have three layers of inspection, three tiers of inspection system, and some of them don't need 100% inspection. If it is 100% inspection, and it's actually much easier because the whole process is much uniformed, right? But in this case, um, their protocol or their standard is to avoid some of the like a sampling, to avoid 100% of the inspection. So again, we have done quite a lot to improve this for them, and this shows some of the site meetings with the team. Overall, and they are very happy about this inspection system. Interesting, the director of the project, they he gave a good explanation why blockchain uh, is so useful in quality inspection. He quote a case, maybe case for not familiar to you, but in China, the Ming Dynasty, they have done a very uh, uh, solid city in Nanjing. So the emperor at that time order or demanded every worker who create who produce the wall, the city wall, the bricks, they need to put their name on it. So once the emperor identify any defeats and sub quantity and bricks, okay, the whole family will be executed. So that is, although this is like a Tarrant story, but nowadays, if you put the operators, inspectors, and the timestamp, all this information in the inspection record, that will efficiently deter some of them to commit some like flawed in inspection. So that's a very interesting explanation, and it works. But okay, so all this a good story until recently, there is a huge uh, kind of scandal happened to the light public housing projects. Three projects. These three, unfortunately, I was not involved in these three projects. The 8,000 modules I mentioned to you are in two other places. But so I will leave this slide to you. So now they discover that on-site installation, some of the screws were cut short, and some of the screw holes are enlarged without the permission of the structural engineer, and all this kind of flaws are not detected until some petrol later on stage then discovered. So that triggered a widespread discussion again. So now we use a blockchain system. We can do that for off-site construction, manufacturing, but how to ensure that in on-site construction, this is actually a classic challenge that the practitioners, okay, all these people very capable people, but they are exploring the to solve this kind of on-site inspection. Um, Detecting the flaw is certainly one thing, but also for another, so we are all familiar, is to understand the real progress of the project so as to make the decision like interim payment, giving the certificate of payment, all these things. So we perhaps have heard now people using like a paper sheet, or even you using laser scanner and some other things to do the progress reporting, progress checking. But again, what happened this, and this has not happened in the first time. I trust that this also not happened only in Hong Kong, but in elsewhere, in any construction site. So how to now move the inspection uh, blockchain-based e-inspection system from off-site to on-site construction is really a new and a challenging. It's not even new, but it's a challenging topic. Every time I went to the government departments to introduce the off-site e-inspection system, their quantity, the quantity surveyors, they often come to me. Some very senior guys come to me. Then, oh, Professor Lu, no problem. I can sense for your off-site inspection. There's no problem. Um, but can you find a solution for the on-site inspection? You can see, so they have concerned this for quite a long time. Um, yeah, so we had some thoughts about this blockchain-based quality inspection for on-site construction. I think again, blockchain layer design itself is less a challenge. So we can simply adopt the blockchain's design before for offsite construction. But on-site construction works are rather different from offsite construction. I think a lot of them will be installed and dismantled, and it's less structured. So how to structure the construction works to make them more amenable to blockchain-based inspection in a way that we have seen in offsite construction, basically like a production line, okay, parallelism in this kind of things. But on-site construction is less structured, sometimes even chaotic. Laming system, because the lanes are used to track the position, okay, to check the specific beams, walls, and windows, doors, all those components. So we have developed a good naming system for off-site construction, but for on-site construction, how to do that, we are still exploring it. But we feel it is possible to do that because a serious BIM user will learn the major components in a BIM system, even it is for an on-site construction. So I brought some of the BIM, developed some, like a column 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not helpful. So you need to have more detailed. So this column is in which floor, in which bay, or which direction, okay, which corner. So to make it more meaningful. So we are yet to develop such a naming system if we really want to use blockchain to inspect the quality of on-site construction. Another big challenge is how to ensure information or sensitivity of information off the chain. So when it enters the chain on chain world and blockchain, I'm sure it will be not immutable, and We'll keep transparent and forever. But how to ensure the information before entering the blockchain system is right? Because otherwise, that will be something like I mentioned before, it's a gap in and a gap out. So yeah, we are yet to find these solutions. For example, people said, "Oh, use indoor and outdoor positioning system to make sure the photos taken in that particular columns installation are that one." Okay, for particularly for that one, we may also use auto ID technology, and we may also use some fraud detection algorithms, and also information triangulations and some other AIs to try to squeeze the space for fraud, for faking the information, okay, to try to ensure the information is right before entering the blockchain system for on-site construction. A very important part is to ensure the system is easy to use. And this I can share with you. When we first introduced this inspection to different projects I mentioned before, some of the contractors are very resistive, partly because they perceive, okay, we are intrusive to their already planned process. But after 1 year, they all come to me. They reduce their voice, and actually they show their support to the system. Some of them even come to me and they try to purchase the system for themselves because the system is really easy for them to use. Okay, really easy for them to use, and they don't use the traditional paper-based inspection anymore. And so we actually have developed the ergonomics and the system in a way that is easy for them to use. I'm also thinking now inspecting like 500,000 photos is very burdensome or as well. So if we introduce some fraud detection and information triangulation algorithms and again, so we can develop some of the AI to help, if not to replace the inspectors, to inspect the images and report some of the potential flaws. I think that will also be very useful. So summary, so blockchain has found its real-life uh, applications, sorry, in off-site construction in Hong Kong. Its immutability, decentralization, and transparency have enabled the genius use for quality inspection in off-site construction. So by capturing the real-life ground truth data in blockchain, the industry is moving to blockchain smart contract for smart payment. Hopefully, next time I can report to you perhaps the world's first real-life case of using smart payment in construction. All right, but blockchain-enabled on-site quality inspection remains a challenge, but it's doable. So yeah, we are exploring that. And if you have any good suggestions, please feel free to contact me and we can discuss further. Thank you again for inviting me to have this sharing. Sorry, I may use excessive time, but I hope you enjoy it. And again, as I said, if you have any uh, uh, idea of a research collaboration, I will be happy to discuss with you, and we can even pay you. So for your brilliant idea. Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you very much.